Come on. Jesus Christ, this computer moves slower and slower every fucking day. Come on. Hippie, hello. Sorry, I'm trying to get a thumbnail on this live. Hello, hello. Content. Live. Brian, hello. 3543. Same shit, different day. How am I doing today? I'm doing okay. Today's a work day. So I was making content today. I will be off tomorrow. Oh, for fuck's sake. Let's just see, make sure that that went through. Okay, that worked. And what am I looking for? Three minus 2. Well, you're never going to stop Trump's madness, but you can blunt it by voting. Good afternoon, Tom. Good afternoon back at you. So we have here, what do we got here? Bath and Body Works. Came in the mail today. Let's see what they're offering. Ooh, we got 20% off. $8 body care item and another 20% off. There you go. I'm sure somebody in this house is going to want that. Oh, I don't think McConnell's in a freezer somewhere. I just think he's in the hospital being kept alive. I had New York pizza at this little shop. Listen, it's not bad pizza. It's just not Chicago pizza. You know what I mean? Love the shirt. That's a first. How long have I been on? 5 minutes and 8 seconds. Oh, one could hope, Sam. I'm just kidding. That do your think about what the fuck is that shit? Okay, we're not doing that. Jesus fucking Christ. They got to find the right person to wear the rubber mask. Is it like the wrong time of day for me to start a live? I'm just saying that it seems like I tapped into a really weird vein at this time of day. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If you guys could please tap the screen to blow up the thumbs up sign or the heart. Either one helps to push the live. Graham Plattner submits the paperwork to formally withdraw. Way to go, asshole. Have you ever done a video showing it's the Republican presidents who raise the debt the most? Yes, several, as a matter of fact. Don't ask me where they are, man. I've got 17,000 videos on this platform. I don't know. Let's get the little mini fan going in the right direction. Happy Friday. Well, happy Friday back at you. I forgot today is Friday. Are you a libtard? Did your parents have any children that lived? You're still jobless after sending God knows how many applications. It's a rough market out there. It's a rough market. You know, some stranger once said, once you start smoking weed, you have options to choose between your 3 legs. Are you a loser? No, it's a fucked up market. The entire market has shifted. My wife has as much experience in her field as any human being on the planet. And she did it well. And she has been unemployed for over 2 years since the last company she worked for folded. It's a fucked up market. And a lot of companies are using resumes and job postings to data mine, essentially. No, I didn't see anything about that in Utah. No, the Iran war will not end just because the Republicans lose the midterms, and I don't think the Republicans are going to lose the midterms outright. I think they're going to lose the House but retain the Senate. Well, thank you, Stephanie. So where the world is heading according to you? You want to be a little bit more specific? Where the world is heading? I mean, that's a pretty broad-reaching question. Are you Iranian? What do you think? Take a stab at it. Just kind of give it your best guess. Share the weed? It doesn't work that way, my friend. Digital sharing of marijuana is not easy. I look Mongolian. Fair enough. Do you play the guitar? No, I don't. Should you get 10 cats? Fucked if I know. Ice is going full bore. You next. Sure. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Anybody have anything intelligent to add to the conversation? Am I smoking the goods? Of course I am. It's your birthday today. Why is the news always depressing? Don't know. Happy birthday. Puff Puff passes from Northern California. Yeah, they did try to rename ICE nice, but nobody's doing it. Anyone supporting ICE is a piece of trash. I would tend to agree with that, yeah. At least they are trash adjacent. Oh, good God. What do you think should be our response if Trump messes with the election? We should use the judicial system to the fullest extent we can. You traveled to Tehran 10 years ago? Okay. Good afternoon back at you, Arbitus. I don't play video games, never really did like video games. My favorite horror movie genre, or genre, you dumb fuck, franchise was the Halloween franchise. What's a good snack to eat when high? Brownies. I was always a sweets guy. Brownies, cupcakes, shit like that. But if you're talking about, like, what do I keep around here, like, to snack on? This is what I have here. So I have this, which is whole cashews. Now, this is the Sam's Club brand, but this is lightly salted whole cashews. I keep that here. And I have this left over from the flight. We just got back from New York. I had this in my backpack. This is a sack of original recipe Giordetto's snack mix with the pretzel and the thing and the little, all of that shit. So those are always nice. Oh, I'm more than prepared. When I'm working, I'm here at this desk for like 8-9 hours working. And I come more than prepared. I got combos over here, and I got, what the fuck are these? Ritz toasted chip, sour cream, and onion. Yeah, got my big old cup of water. Couple of fucking joints rolled up. You know, sack ready to go if I got to roll some more. It can, priest. It can. Chris, how you doing, brother? Ninja, no, I've said before. I think that I think he passes before the end of his term, naturally, of course. I know that there are only a couple of years left in his term, but his health, I think, is that advanced. His health issues are that advanced. I don't see him making it out of his term. I think he becomes the next living president to die while in office. Then again, I could also see him living, 5 years after he gets out of office. I mean, either way, but because he has access to the best medical care and the best doctors. But I mean, they can only keep you alive through so much. You know what I mean? Sativa over indica, but I'll smoke anything he throws in the bag. Do you know of anywhere I can help a person get a prosthetic leg that has? No, I don't know. Gordie Howe Bridge set to finally open before August. Sherry, how you doing? Your videos get me through the day, get my thoughts to these shit. Well, I appreciate that, Scott. Yeah, Donald Trump is temporary, man. Just remember that. Trump is temporary. All of these fucking people that enable him, they're going to be here after he's gone. You're not going to hold your breath on the bridge opening? Yeah, I mean, it's Trump after all. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? You listen, we're all on our way out the door. Act accordingly, you know? MAGA's next leader will be 10 times worse. MAGA won't have a next leader. That's the whole thing. It'll morph into something else. Reagan Republicans morphed into Tea Party Republicans, and Tea Party Republicans morphed into MAGA Republicans. But the MAGA Republicans also had people in their midst that never got into politics before. That they were only into politics because Trump made it seem like a sporting event, and nobody can do what he does. For those idiots, right? Nobody can be that dumb and that WWE ish. He's the only one that could really pull that off. There isn't going to be a next leader of MAGA. There's going to be a next Republican leader, but they're not going to be like Donald Trump. They're going to try, I think, maybe initially to try and embrace some Trumpism, but it's eventually that's going to fade because it's unsustainable. Never underestimate the stupidity of the American people. Listen, that's a true statement as well. Yeah, I'm in the second half of my fucking life too. Tucker Carlson is attempting to create the next MAGA style party, and I hope he succeeds. I hope he splits the Republican conservative vote right down the fucking middle. Then it wouldn't matter if the far left broke away from the Democratic Party. As a matter of fact, it would even be better. But let them break first. Let him form a new conservative party that takes those MAGA freaks, and the old Republicans stay with the Republican Party, and that vote gets splintered into two. Then let the far left break off of the Democratic Party, and all of a sudden you're sitting there with a far right Republican Party, a moderate Republican Party, a moderate Democratic Party, a far left Democratic Party, a Green Party, and a Libertarian Party. Now all of a sudden you got options. In a scenario like that, I see the moderate wing of the Democratic and Republican parties forming a centrist wing. So you would really have far right, centrist, far left, green, and libertarian, but still 5 options is way better than 2. 5 viable options. And I think that would really force the hand of the American people to agree to eliminate the Electoral College. Because at 5 viable options, nobody's going to get to 270. But the breaking up of the parties has to begin with the Republican Party. Because if they break first, the Democrats are left unfettered, and then the far left will say, well, we just can't leave a Democratic Party unchecked. And then they break away, and we can have some options. If the Liberal Party, if the Democratic Party breaks up first, and the far left, the Democratic Socialists of America, break off first and splinter the liberal vote, then fascism takes control for a generation. Because they won't break then. They'll get whatever the fuck they want. So, Skunkle, which meat is better to eat? Beef, chicken, turkey, pork, or lamb? I am a chicken guy. I dig chicken. I dig pork. Of the ones listed, I really dig on shrimp. But then beef. Lamb is probably my last. Lamb and turkey would be my last two. Right parties seem to have an easier time to stick together, not split. So this fucking bill, this housing bill that Donald Trump today said he refused to sign, becomes law tonight, no matter what. The only way he stops it from becoming law is if he vetoes it and sends it back to Congress. But it was passed by such a wide bipartisan measure that they can override a veto. I do notice that fascism is here, but it has not taken control. If the liberal vote splits in two and the Republican Party is unchecked, fascism, we are in a full blown fascist state. Right now, we still have a chance. More democratic socialists of America, please. Listen, in places that want them, sure. In places that don't want them, no. New York clearly wanted them. Chicago clearly didn't. So, fine. New York, those are your candidates. Chicago, those are your candidates. And some places you're probably going to have a split of the types of philosophies within the Republican Party. 10 days unless they close down the Congress for the year, isn't it? Thank you for what you do. I listen. I just give my opinion on shit. You know what I mean? The SAVE Act is the Republicans' attempt to pass federal regulations on state-run laws that say that the states must accept or demand a photo ID to prove somebody's residency and who they are at the polling place. But the states prove residency at registration, and they run their own elections. The SAVE Act, in and of itself, is unconstitutional. It's an attempt to federalize the voting system. What do you think about the Republican bill fighting the Canadian boycott of American liquor? I think the Republicans need to focus on the shit that they're breaking and stop trying to piss off our neighbors. Did I hear what happened in Texas? No. What happened now? Do I even want to know? Do I fucking want to know? I gotta see if all my videos moved over. ICE shot another person today? Oh, Jesus fuck. Do I support the California redistricting to offset Texas? Yes, because Texas did what they did. Otherwise, every state should have their districts drawn by a nonpartisan board. 5, 10, 15, 20, 23. Okay, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay. And on the shorts. Sorry, I just have to make sure these things came over. It's my job after all. Okay. Just when you think things can't get any worse during Trump's second term, something else always, yeah, forever and ever and ever and ever. It's always going to get worse as long as Donald Trump is at the helm. And the only way that this calms down is once we elect a new president or if he finally has a heart attack. What are you going on about Social Security checks? Screwy Louie, how you doing? Another ICE agent shot another person. Jesus Christ. Okay, Thomas, you said when ICE takes over elections this November, you will need to start listening to the socialists like me. The USA is cooked. I'm listening to you, Thomas. What is it that you have to say? What is your solution outside of getting to the polls and voting? Tell me what you want to have happen. Be specific. You probably didn't see my original comment, but big love to Tom. Love your Gen X perspective. A late millennial. Well, right on. Thank you, man. Social Security expert Dr. Ed Weir. Okay. It's always good to have proof of life from Tom. Proof of life. How am I? Fat and sassy. Well, there's a plan, bud. There's a plan. Hunt them down and put them in camps. Yeah, that's not reality, Thomas. See, and that's the problem. I'm asking you for a realistic solution. If you truly thought that was the answer, why the fuck are you not out there doing it? Why are you talking about it in a live of somebody that doesn't agree with that? Because you know goddamn good and well it's never going to happen. It's all bullshit talk. Now, would you like to give a real solution? Would you care to give an actual adult solution to the problem that we have here? I'm going to go ahead and guess no. I miss the good old days when the more normal and level-headed presidents and politicians put their hands on the Bible when they were sworn in, because it's a bummer that Trump 2.0 didn't do the same. I don't give a fuck what they swear in on. As a matter of fact, swearing in on a Bible means there are things that I'm going to want to keep an eye on that they're doing. Swearing in on a Bible or not swearing on a Bible is fucking irrelevant to the grand scheme of things. We put too much emphasis on that, in my opinion. Oh, proof of life from Mitch McConnell. I don't think Mitch is dead. I just think he's in a coma. How crazy MAG is. I asked a simple question on a Fox News post and had all the MAGs attacking my race and DMing me that I was subhuman. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I would swear in on a first edition AD&D Player's Handbook. Thomas wants camps like the Nazis. Yeah, exactly. Saw your video on 9/11 earlier today. I was 10. I saw those planes hit the towers, and I'll never forget. The image is ingrained in my psyche, and I live in the UK. Yeah, I was a young adult. Well, young adult, I was in my 20s, but my late 20s. Very, very, very late, knocking on the door at 30. And it was like, holy shit, did that really just fucking happen? Trump didn't even put his hand on the Bible when he was sworn in this time. No, he did not. It's not the first time that's happened. It's kind of used to it with these people. I do not think wasting money on any camps is a solution. I was upset with Trump and he didn't put his hand on his Bible. Fair enough. Fake service dogs, people that just put service dog vests or collars on their dogs to make them seem like service dogs. Yeah, I think that's a scumbag move. And it cheapens the people that actually need service dogs. So, I was 3 years old on September 11th, 2001. Got some youngsters in here. Yeah, Scott Jennings is full of shit. If 2/3 of the people stopped paying federal taxes, we could eliminate funding for ICE. Yeah, and if my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. Once again, do you care to offer any real solutions other than living in some far leftist fantasy land where we're going to hunt down the people we don't like and put them in camps while we simultaneously stop paying federal taxes? Come on, dude. Remove head from ass, then leave a comment. So what's going on with the Iran war now? We're back at war with them. We're hitting them. They're hitting us. The memorandum of understanding is completely off. It's back on. Second U.S. Okay, Mr. Darkhawk says far leftists don't really say that, Tom, and I'm going to disagree with you immensely. about a year and a half to 2 years ago, I got into about a 3-ish week long insane back and forth with thousands of far leftists in this country, predominantly between the ages of 17 and 25, all of them with profile pictures of Mao or Stalin or some fucking bullshit that said that I should be put up against the wall and summarily executed because I didn't believe that landlords should all be summarily executed. The death threats I got, the commentary. If you go to TikTok and you type in Tom Powell Jr. landlord, holy shit. Yeah, I heard you the first time about 2/3 of the people not paying taxes. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to ask you again before I block you. Do you care to offer any real fucking solutions? Or are you just going to spew this far left fantasy land bullshit? That's the last time I'm going to ask you. If you don't come back with one this time, if you come back with more left wing propaganda talking points, you're going to get muted. It's that fucking simple, dude. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. You don't seem adult enough to be able to have one back with me. Do you have a real fucking solution that's actually fucking possible and isn't some fucking fantasy you live in? You're right on, priest. Abolish ICE. I'm in favor of that. Yes, it is a relatively new organization within the framework of the federal government and can be done away with. I don't think it serves a good purpose at this current point in time. If our votes are essentially negated, what can we do? How can your votes be negated if there are more of us than them? We need to get on a path to peace in this country. I think that's going to be a long ways away, unfortunately. No, the U.S. does not need a monarchy. Well, that's the thing. Everybody lives in this dreamland where we're going to revolt, and there's going to be another revolution, and there's going to be an overtaking of the guard. And no, it's not, because that we only ever hear people talking about it. We never see people actually doing it. We can increase state taxes to fund social programs in the state. And okay, once again, you're not coming up with actual solutions. You're talking about fantasy land that doesn't exist. So I'm going to mute you. And when you grow up and are interested in having an adult conversation, you come back and see us on the next live. What does an upside down flag mean? It means that the person who's flying that flag believes that this country is currently in a state of distress. The Republicans flew theirs upside down when Obama was in office. People now fly it upside down when Trump is in office. The sign of an upside down flag is the sign of a nation in distress. Tyler, those would be the best solutions. But once again, it's an unrealistic solution because constitutional amendments like that are impossible to get done. You're right. Doing away with the two-party system and doing away with the Electoral College would be the best possible solutions for our future elections. Neither one of which are an immediate option, and one of which is not an option at all, and that's doing away with the Electoral College. You are never going to get that. You need, in order to get a constitutional amendment passed, you need 2/3 of the Senate to vote for it, 2/3 of the House to vote for it, the president to sign it, and then 3/4. I don't know if it's 2/3 or 3/4 of the states to ratify it. That is impossible. Three-fourths of the states, 38 of the 50 states. So 2/3 of the Senate, never going to happen. 2/3 of the House, never going to happen. The president, this president would sign it for sure, or would not sign it for sure, doing away with the Electoral College. So that's not going to happen. And then 38 states to ratify it. Never in a million years is that going to happen. You miss Thomas now? Sorry. Your politics are crazy? Well, then learn how to scroll. I don't know what to tell you. Do you think it's stupid for an apartment to charge $3,000 for a small space without including utilities and gas and added costs? Yes, I do, but I'm older. You know what I mean? I think that that's an insane price. I don't know what the price of apartments are really going for these days. That to me is fucking mind blowing. You know, our last apartment was a 1 bedroom and it was under $1,000. It was fuck. Was it 7, 8 something? The far left does not exist in any great number, so you can't compare them to the millions of idiots that support MAGA. Mm, the left promises too much. The right keeps too much. No one in the middle. AI is not the solution. We need more self-reliance, not less. Your first apartment was 300. Interesting. My first apartment was not 300. I lived in a mobile home in Linton, Indiana for a brief period of time for like $350 a month. I hate when a nation flag is used as a political statement because of discourse. There will always be people who disagree with you politically, but that flag is just as much theirs as it is yours. Average apartment costs $1,662 to $1,750. Fuck. It's just crazy. Cult members will go broke for the cause. Yes, they will. Your first gumball cost a penny out of the machine? God. Remember putting pennies and then nickels and dimes and shit in machines and getting gumballs? A fucking glorious time. New listing, Shorewood, Illinois, 4 bedroom, 4 bath, 2,831 square feet, $650,000. Your mom claims a pack of smokes was 5 cents. I don't go back that far, but when I started driving, okay, uh, it was 1988. Jesus Christ, yeah, 88. When I started driving, gas was like 89 cents a gallon, something like that. Pack of smokes was 70 something cents a pack. And like I said a million times before, you if you went to Fat Pam's house, you could get three. She rolled pinner. She'd get like an ounce or two of weed and roll pinner joints. She'd roll 3 pinner joints, or you could get 3 pinner joints for $5. And that, like I said before, that was your Saturday night. If you and two friends had $10 a piece, then you could fill up one of your tanks. Everybody gets a pack of smokes. Everybody gets 3 for $5 from Fat Pam's, and you cruise the strip all night long. Stopping and talking to the ladies in the different parking lots. What's happening? How you doing? How you doing? It's back when I had a chin. Back when I had a chin. Slide, yes, Fat Pam's. Fat Pam. She was the local weed gal. She that was before we started buying like bags of shit, right? She would, like I said, she'd pre-roll joints. You'd swing by, she'd have a rolling tray with a shit ton of joints on it. And the deal was 3 for $5. So, oh, that 80s weed was dog shit compared to what we got now. If you ever take a look at like the strains of the year for High Times magazine for the late 70s and early 80s, dog shit. Absolute dog shit. Stuff that's growing on the side of the fucking road in a ditch these days. Do I think LeBron is overrated? Does a hobby horse have a wooden dick? It was all brickweed back in the day. It was all, people weren't putting the effort and the time and the science into what was going on with weed. There were people doing that, like out in California and shit, but we didn't have access to that weed. And there were a lot of stems and there were a lot of seeds. It was quick question, Tom. I wanted to know, are you from San Francisco or have you family there? I noticed the Grateful Dead fan. Yes, I am a Grateful Dead fan. That is the those are the street signs, replica street signs for the intersection of Haight and Ashbury for the Haight district in San Francisco. No, I never lived in San Francisco. I've been to San Francisco. I don't know if I have any family out in San Francisco. I'm from the Chicago area. I'm born and raised in the suburbs of Chicago. Spent a few years traveling around the country, a couple years living in southern Indiana, but no, I am not from, nor have I ever lived in San Francisco or around the area. Family Records, yes, it was a pretty cool moment. Yes, the sudden popping of a seed in a pinner joint. Oh, that was the worst. Where was the strip in '88? What do you mean the strip? Oh, where we cruised? That would be Linton, Indiana. Seeds popping out of your pipe. No, I don't miss it. That was the worst, man. You traveled to Winslow, Arizona once just to stand on the corner. You know how that song came to be? That song came to be because the Eagles were renting a house in Southern California back in the day, and Jackson Brown was renting the basement from them, and Jackson Brown and Glenn Fry would collaborate from time to time, and they would bring each other ideas and shit like that. And Jackson Brown had, "Well, I'm a standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see," and he was stuck. And he brought it to Glenn Fry, and Jackson Brown said that Glenn Fry immediately said, "It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me." And Jackson Brown went, "Fuck it, it's your song, take it." And from there, Glenn Fry went and wrote the rest of the goddamn song, and it became arguably one of, if not their biggest hits. Poe, take it easy. Poe Thoreau, take it easy. Oh, the seeds burning a hole in your shirt, in your car seat, in the carpet. What are my opinions on Mom Donnie? It seems like he's a decent guy. Seems like he's not wasting time and getting to work trying to initiate what it is that he ran on. Let's see the end result of all of it. Let's see how all of it plays out. Elcro, how you doing? Cigarette lighters. Yes, I remember when cars had cigarette lighters and ashtrays. How would I feel about finding a seed in my weed? Now I think I'd have a conversation with my guy. Like, what the fuck? You smoked weed on an airplane in the 80s or cigarettes? Because everybody was smoking cigarettes on planes in the 80s, apparently. They didn't do a lot of flying in the 80s. I will say this, though. I once took a bus ride from downtown Chicago to Tallahassee, Florida, a Greyhound bus. Boy, that took forever. That took fucking forever. And I sat in the back of that bus. It had a bathroom, and I had a pop can dented in with the holes, and a little nug that I nursed all the way the fuck down to Tallahassee, Florida, on that goddamn bus ride. Oh, spilling your weed was the worst. The worst. Cigarette lighters in the cars, yes. No, priest. Nobody's told me that before. Your mom once threw the cigarette lighter out the window after she lit a cigarette up. Was she having a day? Electric rear windows and station wagons. Just, you smug little clown. You are a problem with the country. Respect the president and our country. Stop sticking up for Iran. You're a fucking dumbass. You know that? Mute. People who blew your bowl because they sneezed. Yeah. That's, I mean, whack-a-troll. Yeah, they're idiots. They are idiots. I'll be right back. Don't move. You got me for a little while longer. Sorry, I had to respond to a text message. My apologies. See, that's why one of the reasons why I didn't like glass pipes. That's why I always had the metal pipes. And to this day, if I'm going to smoke out of a pipe, it's going to be a metal pipe. Are we live tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see. Um, it's another hectic weekend, and it's the last weekend we have before we leave the following weekend. So I don't know. We're going to see. We've got our grandbaby for the weekend because our daughter needed to go somewhere and she needed someone to take him for a couple nights. I never really dug on wooden pipes either. My father always smoked a wooden pipe. And bongs, used to do bongs when I was a kid all the time, but now I haven't smoked a bong in a few years. You did a bong once and nearly died. Still roll your own. Bongs are for youngins. Exactly. Bongs are for youngins. I have a wonderful set of wooden pipes from various countries back here on the shelves and whatnot, what have you. But no, if I'm gonna smoke out of a pipe, and that is fucking rare for me, it is going to be it's going to be one of those right there. Why? Because you get a little lid for that, and then you could have it filled in your pocket and not spill it, or have it filled and just chuck it across the room to somebody, right? That's why I like those. These fucking things, you can't do that with these fucking things. You know. Then again, I'm old school, so you know what I mean. I'm just saying. You use a hammer style glass water pipe. Do you support democratic socialism, and what type of leftist are you? I don't classify myself as a leftist. Do I support democratic socialism? Yeah, in the areas that want democratic socialism, I think that they should elect democratic socialists. Absolutely. New York has shown what they want, so that's what they should get. Chicago went with more moderate Democrats. That's a little bit more my speed, so that's what Chicago's going to get. How do I describe myself? I'm a center left Democrat. Okay, I believe in universal health care. I believe in a livable wage. I believe in a woman's right to full bodily autonomy and medical privacy. I also believe in the Second Amendment and the right to own and carry guns. I believe I'm a capitalist. I just want my capitalism heavily regulated with extraordinarily robust social safety nets. I want free community college. I want more money pumped into education so that we can have an educated workforce. But I also want money pumped into vocational schools. I think that we should continue funding education beyond high school for 2 more years beyond high school, and we should give children the option to children at that point in time, adults, the option go to a community college for 2 years and get an associate's degree, or go to a trade school, or don't go to either. But if you want, go to the community college, get an associate's degree, go to a trade school for a couple of years, and learn a trade. And we should fund that shit. Why? We want an educated workforce. What else? Abortion. It's not my fucking body. It's not my fucking choice. Gay marriage. I don't understand why that fucking affects anybody whatsoever. Uh, Throw out another one. Yeah, whatever. What is it you want to know? So that's the kind of leftist I am. Well, an educated populace turns into a workforce. A workforce, whether you're dealing with a capitalistic economy or a bartered system of economy, you still want the workforce to be educated in what it is that they're doing. Do your adult kids smoke as well? Two of the three. The single greatest thing that any Congress could pass, the single greatest thing that any Congress could pass that would help all Americans in one fell swoop for the better and spur an economy like we have never seen before would be universal health care. If we could just get universal health care passed, everybody's instantly covered. Nobody goes broke because they got sick, which is a disgusting thing to even think that it happens. So right off the bat, everybody that's in the country is covered, no matter who you are. B, you're no longer tied to your fucking job because you need that health insurance. I know a bunch of people, whether they be carpenters or plumbers or whatever, that are like, man, I could go out and work for myself right now. I know how to bid the jobs. I know how to do the jobs. I just can't afford the fucking health insurance. I need the health insurance that my company provides. We would see a boom, an economic boom, an entrepreneurial boom in this country like we had never seen before. Everybody would be covered. And we would, I think, enter into a new era of American prosperity. It's the single biggest thing anybody could do. If somebody came to me and said, you get to be dictator for a day, but you only get to get one thing done without question, I would pass universal health care. I would walk in the door and go, I already know what it is, universal health care, done. What are we doing with the rest of the day? We got jet skis or what? Been married to my husband for 12 years, so my family tell me that I'm an abomination. Yeah, your family is dead fucking wrong. Your family is dead fucking wrong. And that's just the bottom line. They're dead fucking wrong. And if that's what they say about you, then it is my opinion that they're not your family. Your family are the people that you surround yourself, that you love and that love you. Your relations, your relation out there, that's your blood. Who you're blood related to is oftentimes separate from who your family is. So if somebody's saying that to you, they're not your family, they're your relation. You know what I mean? Republicans seem to be running on culture war only these days. Here's what you're going to hear for the next 4 months leading up to the election: communism, 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 communist, communists, communism, 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 some communists, communism, 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 and then some communism. That's what you're going to hear out of the Republican Party for the next 4 months. Communism, communism, communism. It's what they have to sell right now. It's what they have to sell. They can't sell the economy because everybody knows they're struggling. You can't sell me that I'm not struggling. You know what I mean? You can't sell the Iran war because that's a fucking disaster. You can't sell on the fact that you stopped the Ukraine war because you didn't, right? You didn't lower inflation. We're not in a booming economy, so you can't sell any of this shit. So what is it that you have to sell? They're nuts. They're crazy. Look at them. They're communists. Look at the people they elected in New York. They're communists. That's what you're going to hear. They don't even want to say socialist anymore because they know more and more people are like, yeah, socialist doesn't sound so bad. You know, a capitalistic socialistic blend, which is what the United States already is. We just need to get the mixture right. You know, doesn't sound so bad. But communism is still scary to people in the United States of America. So they're going to sell the fuck out of communism. Canned pumpkin in cottage cheese bowl. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, who hurt you? Yeah, the trans. You'll still hear the trans thing this cycle around, but Donald Trump has already laid the groundwork. With the Democratic Socialist of America being elected, candidates being elected in New York, they have turned that into a communist rallying cry. And that is what they are going to push. Hang on a second, guys. I'll be right back. We're going to find out, Watchdog. We are going to find out. Soggy fries dunked in expired tomato sauce. The fuck? Will Trump be impeached again? There's a strong possibility if the Dems take the House, but he won't be removed. Excuse me. him outside. I'm gonna let him out. Can you let him back in? You okay, bud? Your mom's gonna be home very soon. Tired? Trying to ask him to eat this.
You know what it was?
Huh?
When I woke up, I thought I skipped to the next day.
No, not yet. Not yet. Oh yeah, listen. I understand the uselessness of impeachment. It basically is a mark on his record without a conviction in the Senate. I think it would do the Democrats in the House of Representatives well if they were going to even think about impeaching Donald Trump, if they first went to the Senate Republicans to say, are you guys willing to finally do the right thing and have a conversation with them? And if they're not, then don't waste anybody's time with the impeachment. Just legislate. I was asked if he was going to get impeached. I said, there's a good possibility he could if the Dems retake the House. What's up with the skull collection? I like skulls. What about Clinton and Nixon? Nixon was never impeached. If you're making a reference to impeachment. Bill Clinton was impeached, not convicted, like Trump, and Nixon was never impeached. What? Plate of eggs with what? Syrup? What the fuck? Plate of eggs with half syrup, half ketchup. Ooh. No, I'm not collecting skulls anymore. I have the ones that I have, and I'm good. No, Nixon resigned before he was impeached. Nixon was going to be impeached, and his party, the Republican Party, went to him and said, "Dude, there's no way we could possibly not vote to remove you from office. You need to resign," and he resigned. That was at the beginning of his second term in office. He served one full term, won re-election in a landslide, won every state but one. And then at the beginning of that second term, fucked up royally with Watergate, which he wasn't even a fucking part of. He just helped to cover it up because he was afraid it was going to make him look bad, make the Republican Party look bad. Such an idiot move from a guy who otherwise did tremendously great things. Oh my God, he could have cemented himself as one of the greatest. Dumbass. Oh, I don't think Trump is going to resign. I would be fucking shocked if he did that. Priest, that's deadly. Week old grilled grease on a. No, no, stop. Outside of the racism, but that's a majority of presidents, huh? He's bricklaying himself into his bunker. Applesauce and gravy with a glass of milk and root beer. Vile. All moderates you encounter shift right eventually. I don't know. I know a bunch of moderates that are still moderate and to the left. regard to Nixon and his accomplishments, a lot of presidents were racist. Oh, yes, and he was no exception. He still accomplished great things, though. I did see the new tarp on the White House. No politician delivers on all of it. Nope. Everybody who's talking about tarp now. What the hell? Why are you covering up the fucking comments, YouTube? He also helped start raping South America and the war on drugs, so fuck Nixon. Yes, I understand he did. He also founded the Environmental Protection Agency, Clean Air and Water. He also founded OSHA, Safe Workplace Environments. He also signed Title IX, Women in College Sports. He ended the draft and put us onto an all-volunteer military. He dedicated the first $100 million to cancer research, which in the late 60s was a fuck ton of money. I understand he did horrible things, and he should be remembered first and foremost for those horrible things. That doesn't mean that he did not do great fucking things. Are my comments muted? I don't know. Are they? Let's see. A chicken fetus sauteed with butter? Yeah, we saw that. I mean, well, what the fuck do you want us to say to that, dude? Yeah, I did a video about Trump needing to take the old Air Force One. I don't know how much money we spent to get the new plane up to presidential specs, and it's not there. Where'd the fucking money go? What did we do? Hang on. Folks, my wife is fast approaching, so I am going to let you guys go, and we are going to talk another time, okay? Please watch all of the videos. Get all your friends to come watch the videos. Get all your family and coworkers to come watch the videos. Get as many people as you possibly can to subscribe, please and thank you. And I appreciate the support as always. Hasta lasagna. Don't get any on you.